Welcome back to Sports Federation TV. If you've missed the first two segments, you can catch it tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. You can catch the life-saving segment as well as the ring ball segment, which will be on YouTube within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Our partners on the show, the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation. One of its members is Western Cape Motorsport. The petrol heads, I hope you're sitting close by. We've got some interesting information for you. Arlene, are you well?
I'm very well, thanks, Alton. And yourself?
All good. Mr. Ian Long, long time no see. You all good?
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome, thank you.
Good, good. Motorsport, many people perceive as one or other facet. Arlene, maybe you can tell us the different aspects of motorsport, because it's huge.
It is huge. Altogether, Motorsport South Africa recognises 13 facets in motorsport. Even though in the Western Cape we don't have all 13, but we do have quite a large proportion. So we've got karting, we've got oval track, we've got drag racing, drifting, motocross, circuit racing where it's cars and motorcycles, short circuit, cars and motorcycles fit into that structure.
Yes.
There's rallying, there's off-road, enduro. So there are quite a few and different aspects. You know, some people like the dirt and the rough and tumble stuff, and others like the tar and the sophistication of motorsport. So it's quite a wide range of motorsport activities that one can become involved in.
Ian, most people perceive motorsport as Killarney main circuit. They don't see the other avenues of it, like Arlene just mentioned, like the street to strip and the Wednesday night stuff. Give us some of the highlights of some of those other aspects.
Look, I think the Wednesday night street to strip events, the robot racing, etc., short circuit as well as karting is all a feeder to the main circuit. Some other time of your life you're going to improve, obviously budgets, etc., and you'll aspire to become a main circuit racer in some form. So yes, the main circuit at the end of the day might be the ultimate goal.
What do entry fees cost? I mean, it varies, I'm sure.
It varies from sort of facet, what sort of regional championship you're actually partaking in, whether it's club or regional, etc. But anything from, say, 600 Rand up to 1,000 Rand sort of average fee.
Yeah. When someone participates in any activity on your track, what are the safety requirements that need to be in place?
Okay, it depends on the facet that you're in, but largely it's got to do, number one, with the safety for the competitor, the driver, the rider. There are various safety features that are in place in terms of the clothing that they need to wear. So from fireproof to neck braces to gloves, shoes, helmets, and that sort of thing. So each one has got their own specific regulations in terms of what are prescribed minimum and what is optional extras. I mean, obviously it's what you value on your life in terms of whether you want to go top of the range or bottom of the range. And we always say to someone, you know, what's your brain worth to you? Is it 1,000 Rand helmet, or is it a 6,000 or 10,000 Rand helmet? So it's up to the competitor to decide what equipment they're going to go out and buy. So again, from a budget point of view, it could be very high budget or it could be entry level. And then over and above that, obviously the different vehicles that you compete in, there's different safety standards for them as well. And to ensure that the vehicles fulfill the requirements, the safety requirements, they go through scrutineering before an event actually starts to make sure that those things are in place.
One of the things that I've noticed at Killarney is the sound testing. Explain that to us, please, Ian.
Look, the sound testing has been obviously enforced via City Cape Town Council with the negotiations on our lease going forward to get the extension. One of the mindsets was obviously motor vehicle, motorbikes, whatever you are racing is in general noisy.
Yes.
So we have curbed, for give and take, the last 4 years to bring that sound level down to an acceptable level for the neighborhood to keep them happy, etc. It's been going sort of countrywide now, and there's a fair sort of level spec that has been granted to the actual site, to the venue.
And I mean, that's a huge component. Over and above that, Arlene, how often is racing happening at Killarney?
Racing is happening quite often at Killarney. If it's not one of the facets, it's another one. And some days we have double headers and sometimes 5 headers or whatever you would call it.
Yes.
So most Saturdays there is some or other competition happening at Killarney. Killarney has the main circuit, obviously, where we've got the cars and the motorcycles. There's a motocross circuit, there's short circuit and drifting, there's karting, there's drags. So at any given point in time, and there's oval as well in the evenings. So at any given time, you could have 2 or 3 events on a Saturday. And then over and above that, you've got the street to strip and the robot racing during the week.
So Killarney is quite busy.
It's extremely busy. Just an example, last Saturday there were actually 5 events taking place all at the same time. And it was quite interesting to see the movement of the spectators between drags, drifting, motocross, karting. So you pay one entry fee and you can go and see 5 different events. So that is quite a nice experience, I would say.
Definitely. Let's check out the footage and see what motorsport's all about. Check this out. We're chatting motorsport. As you could see in the clip there, one of the cars rolled. Yes, he rolled. That wasn't too bad. Ian, how safe is it in that car?
Looking at the car afterwards, the driver was fairly well sort of protected. A roll cage did its job, plus his own personal safety gear. So yes, everyone goes out there with an open mind, get the best safety equipment and clothing. And then again, we have to look at the Marshall team. The guys did an extremely great job in getting to that vehicle, getting the guy extracted safe. Everyone looked out for each other, which is a great thing.
Often you'll find that on the track, a guy blows his engine and there's a big oil streak. What happens in a case like that?
Well, there's various measures we have to take. Obviously, safety for the next competitor is primary importance. So once again, the marshals get involved with their teams to clean up the mess, so to speak, and get the track as safe as can be for the next event to continue at the safety paramount times that we have to all abide to.
What was interesting, I noticed, is that they use cement. No one ever, I would have thought something else. Why cement? Do any of you know? Or am I just throwing something up in the air?
You're throwing something up in the air. I think it's just something that has been used for many years.
Okay.
I know there's been quite a lot of discussion going on over the last couple of years in terms of whether it is the best suitable thing to soak up the oil, but up to now we have found it good enough. What's happened over the years is before we used to have the marshals and we used to sweep it in, put the cement dust down, sweep it in to absorb the oil and then just leave it there and sweep it off, most of it off. And the last couple of years we've been using blowers as well. So they still sweep it, but to get rid of the excess dust, they're getting it away with the blowers.
And the marshals do an amazing job, and very quickly, I must say, from what I've seen. Where else is motor racing happening other than at Killarney racetrack?
Okay, we've got the oval tracks. There are a few. We've got, CHD, they run at Killarney on their oval. Then we've got one out in the Kraaifontein, Tygerberg area, Tygerberg Raceway. We've got one out in Bredasdorp, which, interesting enough, is hard surface, but it's not tar, but it runs under the tar oval racing, just because of the surface of the track. And then there's also one out in, in Worcester that they're busy working on at the moment. Then over and above that, obviously you got all your off-road type stuff. So you got your rallying out on different farm roads that we've been lucky to have farmers' permissions to allow us to use their roads and that sort of thing. And the same thing goes with the off-road and enduro motorcycles. And just recently they've had an event up in Tankwa, Karoo area. And that was a 3-day event. So it's not just all centered at Killarney.
Yes.
It's around about the Western Cape. There are quite a few venues where there is motorsport happening.
Ian, what would you recommend to someone who wants to get into motorsport? Let's say cars.
Look, one of the first things you have to know, motor racing in general can be expensive. Don't go out there with a mind you want to be the best from day one. Go in and get a facet, start in a facet that is affordable to you. Motor racing can cost you anything from 500 Rand a month up to R1 million a year, all depending what you want to get into. So go in there with an open mind, look at the formulas, speak to many people, and fit into a class budget specific for you.
And one of the upsides, I think, of motor racing, if you look at all those cars, there's tons of branding on there. Good opportunity for sponsors and for marketing. Wouldn't you say, Arlene?
I would say there is. I think it's also, you've got to be able to sell yourself and your product. I mean, I know there are a lot of people out there that have got the potential, but because they aren't able to sell themselves, they go without those sponsors. Yes. And for me, that's a sad thing. But as you pointed out, there is huge opportunity for sponsors to come on board and to get the exposure that they would like to see.
Definitely. How do people find out more motorsport? Do you have a website, Facebook page? Give us the details.
There are quite a few websites. I think the one thing as well is being specifically for Western Cape, each different club or section at Killarney, each section has got their own website. So it becomes a bit difficult. Motorsport South Africa have their own website. And on Motorsport South Africa's website, you'll find all the rules and regulations pertaining to motorsport. You'll also find the calendars. So if anybody's interested in going to an event, they can go and look on the Motorsport South Africa website.
Perfect. Ian, Arlene, thank you for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome. Let's take an ad break. We'll see you now.